Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. This is a pretty mind blowing post. This will be further proof that the NBA and professional sports are scripted by the numbers. In this video, I'm going to show why David Blatt was fired today, January 22nd, 2016, and also why Steve Kerr is returning to coach for the first time this season. There is a direct relationship. These are the last two coaches to meet in the NBA Finals. As I continue to report, pro sports are scripted, planned out in advance, and they are done so by the numbers. So there's a lot to go through here. We're going to review the firing and the return of David Blatt and Steve Kerr, respectively. We're also going to go back and revisit some synchronicities from last NBA season, how I was able to project in the regular season that the NBA Finals would be the Warriors and Cavs. And we're going to look at some other interesting things, such as the Philadelphia losing streak and the Warriors winning streak, why the Warriors winning streak was snapped by the Milwaukee Bucks, and we're also going to revisit LeBron James record-setting contract with Nike this year. All of this stuff is interconnected, if you can believe it. So let's start with today. It's January 22nd, 1/22. Golden State has gematria of 122. This was an important number in last NBA season. Just notice the gematria. Golden State 122. Today's January 22nd. It's also the 22nd day of the year. The word basketball has gematria of 22. A big day for basketball news. The narrative is that LeBron James was unhappy with the coach, David Blatt. What this makes me think of for LeBron James is how he was recently in the movie Trainwreck. Trainwreck has gematria of 122, a lot like today's date, January 22nd. And what's really interesting is LeBron James in Jewish gematria sums to 923. Remember in Philadelphia, there was a train wreck last year. That train wreck took place at 9:23 p.m. Now think about Philadelphia's basketball season. Talk about a train wreck. Anyhow, 9:23 can be a time. It can also correspond with the date September 23rd, which can also be written 23/9. And look at this. This is from ESPN's front page, this shot right here. A video about his firing that's 2:39 long. Both of these numbers can represent the date September 23rd. This past year, Pope Francis met with Barack Obama, the 44th president, on this day. And the name Pope Francis in gematria also sums to 122. From September 23rd until today, January 22nd, is a span of 122 days. None of this is a coincidence. There's people who probably already turned off the video because this sounded insane to them. But this is what I mean. As crazy as this sounds, this really is how the web of NBA rigging is woven. And the reason it interlaces with a movie such as Trainwreck that LeBron James is in is because the same people control the NBA, that control the movie studios, that control the media. It is the Freemasons and the Zionist Jews. And this is how they operate, by a numerological code and also by this trade of gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Notice that David Blatt was born May 22nd, 1959. This is a date with 33 numerology. Cleveland is the only city in the NBA with a 33 gematria. 33 is a very important number in the NBA. In a moment, I'm going to show you how this number syncs up with Steve Kerr as well. His birthday is on the 142nd day of the year. 142 is a number that has a relationship with 42. Look, the name LeBron James equals 42. NBA Finals equals 42. When you write out 42 as a word, it sums to 142. Last year, he took his team to the NBA Finals in his first season as a head coach. There's this tweet talking about him being fired as a coach. The tweet came at 1:39 p.m. Freemasonry in gematria equals 139. So often these tweet times are at significant times with numbers that sync up with Freemasonry. This also comes on the date January 22nd, a lot like 122. The word Freemason in Francis Bacon gematria also sums to 122. So Masonic time, Masonic date. Notice that the tweet up here says that David Blatt's firing. He's the first coach to be fired mid-season since Byron Scott after being in the NBA Finals. Last year, David Blatt lost to the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors have gematria of 108, a lot like the tweet time of 10:08. The first game of the NBA Finals, the Warriors also won with 108 points. I really don't think any of this is a coincidence. I think it's all significant. So, David Blatt was hired June 20th, 2014, a date with a life lesson number of 33. Remember, he's born on a date with 33 numerology, hired on a date with 33 numerology. Again, Cleveland is the only city with 33 gematria. From the date he was hired until the date he was fired is exactly 83 weeks. The number 83 is the 23rd prime number. And think about 23 in regards to LeBron James, the number he wears, and also an infamous number through players such as Michael Jordan and more. Very important number in the NBA. 83, the 23rd prime. David Blatt finished his career in Cleveland with 83 wins. Today, Steve Kerr will be returning to coach his 83rd game in the regular season with the Warriors. No coincidence. Just wanted to point out that Cleveland Cavaliers has gematria of 114 like LeBron James. It's LeBron James's team. The coach is kind of just a puppet filling a role on the sideline. That's probably apparent to everyone who follows the league. Here's his final coaching stats, David Blatt. 83 wins, 40 losses, total of 123 games. The word conspiracy has gematria of 123. And his replacement, Tyronn Lue, is born on May 3rd, the 123rd day of the year. How about that? Tyronn Lue in gematria equals 45. The Cavs are in their 45th season this year. Cavs are in their 45th season. We'll talk more about that. Tyronn Lue in simple English gematria sums to 144, another very special number. If you write out 44 as a word in Summit, it sums to 144. King James, LeBron's nickname, has gematria 44. Last year, the Cavs were in their 44th year of existence. In Game 1 of the NBA Finals, LeBron James scored 44 points, scoring that 44th point when the game was already over. Yet if you go back and watch the replay, the announcer belts out 44 points, even though the game was already over. So there's no reason for there to be any excitement. Unless, of course, the games are scripted by numbers and the announcers know what they are supposed to accentuate, which is what was going on. Cavs were knocked off by the Warriors last year, coming into their 44th year of being. So that covers that angle for David Blatt. Now let's go through Steve Kerr. Again, he's returning as the head coach of Golden State for the first time this year. It's January 22nd. Golden State equals 122. Talked about basketball on the 22nd day of the year. The name Steve Kerr has gematria 42. Remember this important number? He went to the NBA Finals in his first year as a coach, winning 4-2. If you write out 42 as a word in Summit, it sums to 43. Steve Kerr missed 43 games this year. He's returning for the 44th. Steve Kerr in gematria sums to 123. David Blatt was just fired after 123 games. Again, conspiracy equals 123. Here's his coaching record this far. He'll be returning for his 83rd game. Again, David Blatt being fired after 83 weeks to the day after winning 83 games. With regards to 42 also, I was able to project last year that the NBA Finals would be Cavs and Warriors because LeBron James had his season high of 42 points against the Warriors. Both of those teams retired the number 42 jersey for Nate Thurmond. There's more to the story which we'll get to. But 42, a very significant number in the NBA as well. The word Freemason equals 42. Again, it's Freemasons that control the show. Steve Kerr's initials, SK, break down to 1 and 11. The NBA Finals equals 111. We'll talk more about that. He played his college ball at Arizona. He has birth numerology that corresponds. He also has birth numerology that corresponds with the word assassin. In his playing day, he was known as an assassin for making crucial shots at the end of games, putting teams away. Played on the Bulls. And what else is interesting is he's returning for the 44th game, and 44 is the kill number. Assassin, 44, these numbers often come together. Very interesting. He was first hired May 14th, 2014, a date with interesting numerology. Also a date with 33 numerology, just like David Blatt. One of my first videos is the NBA as a 33 league. So many greats have had 33 names. Michael, Kobe, Magic, Bird, Patrick, Vincent. Almost all the greats you know in the NBA have 33 names. Miller. So many more. So with regards to Kerr returning for the 44th game, again, 44 was the big number last year in the NBA Finals. This year, the Warriors were chasing the record set 44 years ago by the Lakers led by Jerry West. Jerry West is now the logo of the NBA. The name Jerry West in Gematria equals 44. He wore the number 44. 44 years ago, his Lakers made a record win streak of 33 games. That was the same year the Warriors moved to Golden State. The Warriors originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia having the record losing streak, while Golden State had the record winning streak. Scripted sports. Notice they moved to Golden State in 71. 71 and 44 when written out both sum to 144. The only two numbers that do, sharing this relationship. This year, they're in their 44th year of existence. Special alignment for them. Steve Kerr coming back from the 44th game. Last year in the NBA Finals, Game 1 went to overtime, 98-98. That game came exactly 98 days after the teams played last. In that game, LeBron had a game high of 44 points. On the 44th day of the year, the day is called Lupercalia, which has gematria of 44 the small way and 98 the big way, like numbers on Game 1 of the NBA Finals. From Lupercalia to Game 1 of the NBA Finals was a span of 111 days. Notice the NBA Finals equals 111. And Jewish gematria equals 322. That was also a span of 3 months and 22 days. This is how tightly they sync it up by the numbers. This year, the Warriors' winning streak, was snapped by the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks also snapped the losing streak of the Lakers 44 years ago, ending it at 33 games. The Warriors' win streak ended with 28 games. Notice that 28 and 33, when written out, both have gematria of 156, just like Milwaukee Bucks, the team to snap both winning streaks 44 years apart. The Warriors' win streak began April 9th when Warriors equals 49. Wisconsin is also one of only 2 states with a gematria of 44, snapping the streaks 44 years apart. Bucks were champions in 71, the same year they snapped the Lakers' streak as well. The numbers we just talked about, Truth Seeker. See how it all comes together. And the Bucks also won with 108 points. Again, Golden State equals 108. So does It's Over. I don't have it written up here, but It's Over equals 108 as well. And then with regards to all this 44 coding, LeBron, in Nike's 44th year of existence, signed a contract that will last the rest of his life. In history, Nike, from Greek mythology, Nike is the goddess of victory and the daughter of Titan Pallas, which has gematria of 44. The god of victory having to do with war, military equals 44. In this nation, pro sports are used to distract grown men from paying attention to things they should be, such as fraudulent wars their nation's invested in. Anyhow, Nike, their symbol's the swoosh, which is supposed to be a ring of Saturn. Notice the gematria of Nike, 39, Saturn 93. Nike's headquartered in the 33rd state, Oregon. Saturn is also said to be the keeper of time. They're in their 44th year of existence. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. Time in Jewish gematria